Reuters broke a disturbing but not totally unexpected piece of news early this morning that Russian state-backed hackers are back at it, targeting a strategy and communications firm that advises Joe Biden's campaign. Microsoft alerted the firm about the attacks and identified the suspecting hacking group as the same set of spies blamed by the U.S. government for breaking into Hillary Clinton's campaign in 2016. In a blog post today, Microsoft released some information about the recent cyber attacks they've detected, revealing that in addition to Russian-based attacks, they've observed a Chinese group attacking high-profile individuals associated with the election, including people associated with the Biden campaign and prominent leaders in the international affairs community.
We weren't looking at an attempted attack by some Russian guys or attempted hack by some cyber criminals. We found specifically that these attempted intrusions on this Biden campaign firm were being done by Russian government-backed hackers. We also specifically found that this group had been identified by Microsoft as being the group Fancy Bear, which you may remember that group from 2016. They were the Russian intelligence backed hacking group that hacked into the DNC.
I think that the places that he has exposure, the places where somebody like Russia can place leverage over him, some of those examples, many are classified still, but some have become public. And some of those things point to exactly the sort of financial coercion, things like his lies, frankly, on the campaign trail in 2016, that he had no financial relationship with Russia, that clearly isn't the truth.
Carson Swalwell, we all remember that very clearly. Him saying, oh, no financial ties whatsoever. Michael Cohen now telling us, oh, yeah, we were trying to work out a Moscow deal during the presidential campaign.
That's right, Lawrence. And when you put the president in different scenarios, you don't even have to do hypothetical scenarios. We have seen him standing next to Putin. Who does he choose, America or Russia? He chooses Russia when it comes to who's responsible for interfering in the election and takes their side. You look at what happened with Skripal, the poisoning in Britain back in 2018. Other countries are asking him to condemn Russia. And who does he choose? He says, I would rather follow than lead on this, which is to benefit Russia. You look most recently at Vladimir Putin's opponent, who was just poisoned. And what does he do? He chooses the Russian side by saying, we haven't yet seen all of the evidence. This is not a hypothetical, theoretical example of somebody being compromised and acting as an agent. He actually does it in every scenario, real life scenario that he's in.
And the reality is not only is Donald Trump not taking steps to prevent those threats, he's not taking steps to protect our election against Russian interference. He's not taking steps to protect Americans from the threat of white supremacist terrorism. Let's be honest, people. He's fanning the flames. If you look at his own Twitter feed, he is a source of motivation for some of the white nationalists that we've seen. And we've seen acts of violence in this country. The Tree of Life Synagogue, we've seen in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Instead of having a strategy to protect Americans from that threat, they're seeking to downplay it.
That we are not defenseless. We've got a lot of good people working in the agencies who are on offense, not just defense. And we have extraordinary capabilities to protect the American public. But it sure would help if they got a clear signal from the commander-in-chief that this is a priority. And let me just say, if you can't brief the American public and the Congress on Russian interference in the election, you're probably benefiting from it. If you and your allies are laundering the charges of Andrei Derkash, who has now been designated a Russian agent by the Treasury Department, and yet Ron Johnson and Devin Nunes and the president himself and people like Rudy Giuliani are trying to use his laundered Russian disinformation to benefit the president politically, that's a real problem. You may remember at the last meeting of the Intelligence Committee we had, I called out Devin Nunes for getting a care package from Andrei Derkash, who's now been designated a Russian agent, which contained a bunch of information that he would not share with the rest of the committee. He wouldn't even admit that he had received the package, even though we literally have the shipping receipt from Derkash to Devin Nunes. So it is very serious that members of senior leadership in the Republican Party, in the House and Senate, at the White House are attempting to benefit from Russian interference. But thank God for the people out there in the agencies, and thank God that the American public, I think, is now far more aware of what's happening and in a better position to deal with it.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.